Hey guys, I'm Creature Hunt Guy here again, and welcome back to another Godzilla review. And today is my... Oh my gosh! My 20th video! Awesome! Okay, so for this momentous occasion, what am I gonna review? What can be honored with this great honor to be my 20th review? Well, I'll tell you what's special enough. Something that was given to me by a dear friend. In fact, why don't I show you right now? Okay. Alright. Fine, I'll do it. What is this? What is this? I mean, it's big, yeah, cool, and it's got Godzilla, and it's sold in a store, but what is this? This is gonna be a long day. Okay, so, reasons why I don't like this thing. Well, first, look at it. I mean, just look at it. Take a gander at it, why don't you? This is not Godzilla. This is Godzilla. This is Godzilla. He is unique. He's different. He looks, well, despite the fact that he's a giant atomic lizard created by science, he looks realistic, okay? This thing, on the other hand, looks just like a dinosaur. I mean, it's a dinosaur. What? Look at it. It's big, it's chunky, it's bulky. I mean, of course it's big, I know that, duh. But I mean, it's not proportionate, it's not detailed, it doesn't look right. And we know Bandai Creation can do things right because we got this thing. And this wasn't too bad. It has a uniqueness about it. It doesn't just look, you know, bland and regular like any other sort of giant lizard thing. It looks unique, it looks detailed. It's got detail, for crying out loud. This thing just... big and bulky and yeah. But it's really as bad as I think so. Well, let's take a very close look at it this time. Now look what it did. It jinxed the entire camera and everything. Good grief. Now, I gotta admit, the paint scheme is awful, okay? It just is bad, okay? It's not spray paint bad like some Bandai Creation figures, but it's just not good. Okay, look first here, in here. Now, granted, it's nice black color here at the base and then white around the extremities. And as you go down, it fairly kind of stays, sorta. But that's just it. It's just so bland. I mean, look! You got, okay, sure, that looks sort of cool. I mean, monster-y, sort of, but this is just, I mean, the color is just plain old black. There's nothing cool about it. There's no highlights. There's no paint apps. There's just nothing. It's just black and white. That's all. How cool could that be? Now, another thing is that they did actually bother to paint the eyes, and they did sort of paint the tongue a little, but I mean, good grief. That's the eyes and the tongue. What went wrong when your main thing about this Godzilla is the eyes and the tongue? What went wrong? What went wrong? What did I say? Anyway. Okay, so that's the paint scheme. It's not awful because it conveys Godzilla's colors, but it just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't. But now let's look at detail. Well, detail-wise, since everything is scaled up huge and blown up, you'd think that it'd be really well detailed. But no, forget that. Just make it big, and who cares about what it looks like? It's just huge, okay? So, do that. But the main thing is that, okay, so you look at the face, right? And you got fairly good spikes, but that's just it. I mean, they're on par with the small ones. If it's a scaled up size figure, then it should be more detailed and more in depth because you have more room to work with. When you have a small figure, it's reasonable for it to not look as impressive as a larger one does. But this is just like a photocopy blown up real huge. I mean, look, the scales, they're just big and gaping, and there's room between them, and you just don't see very well, and in here on the spikes, they're just kind of, you know, scrubbed on as if they're just, I mean, look, can you see a bit of a similarity except for the paint splat there? It's kind of the same, only huge, isn't it? Yeah, that's what we got. A huge photocopy. Okay, well, now there is one good thing about this figure, and that would be articulation. As far as articulation goes, well, he's actually pretty well stocked up here. You got the head, which moves pretty freely, and you got the arms, which move in and out like this, like, I don't care, I just don't care. And then you got the legs, which move like this, and then you got the tail, which moves kind of like this, and then it also moves right here, which is cool. And then you also move sort of right here. But one thing I do want to point out, with all this cheap packaging, you can't really fit it together, so it, you know, just kind of splays open like that, which is also very, very cheap, and I do not like it. Another thing you'll notice about the sculpting on this figure is that the tail is all curled up. When did Godzilla ever do that? Especially in the later movies. In the past 20 years, he has not... In fact, since the Showa era, has he not ever done that? I mean, I can't think of a time when he's ever really lifted his tail all the way heck up here. I mean, good grief. I mean, look at that. He could sit and talk to his tail like that. That's ridiculous. Why is it like this? I'll tell you why. Because Bandai Creation, the cheapo American company that they are, does not want to spend the money on cramming a long, huge tail in there, and they just want to curl it all up so it'll fit in a stupid box. Why do they want to do that? Because they're cheap. Now, I'm not judging, but they're cheap. But still, it kind of works. But it is easier to display on, like, say, a bookshelf or something, but it just doesn't look right. I mean, it's Godzilla. He's got a huge, long tail that flops around behind him as he walks. This just isn't right. I mean, you could kind of, sort of position it to where it looks like it's on the ground, but that just looks worse. I mean, okay, maybe I may be a bit hard on this guy just because it's not on par with the really high maintenance, high quality Japanese figures. But that's just it. So what, did Japanese kids like, you know, realistic things and American kids just like big, huge things? Okay, I mean, who's the racist there? But anyway, my point is, it just looks too generic, is what I mean. It looks like Godzilla. You can tell it's Godzilla, but it just, not quite. Not as good as it should be. Not as good as it should be. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've said all I can, and that's all there's enough to be said, but, I mean, it kind of looks cool, but I just don't get this tail, and it's like, they think Godzilla can move in any sort of way he wants to, just like they thought dinosaurs could, but apparently they can't because they were actual animals, and while Godzilla's not an animal, he's still much like a dinosaur in that he can't raise his vertebrae all the way up there. Anyway, I mean, look, like I said, this looks like a dinosaur. So does this. Now, I mean, there's obviously a difference, but look at it. I mean, this is a big lizard, and so is this. The only thing different is that this one's got giant spikes, and he's huger, and he's $20. This one's $10. So, I don't know. But, yeah, let's do a little bit of size comparison with the rest of the Godzilla 05 family here. So we first got the quite superior Japanese standard version. And as you can see, this thing is quite a monster of a thing because the Japanese one's head doesn't even goes right up to his chin. So as you can tell, this is a giant hulking of a figure, whatever. Then you also got him next to his little Bandai Creation buddy, which, I'm going to say it, is a better figure than the 12-inch one. This is better than this. Granted, paint applications are on here, but if the paint applications are just on some big monster and just some big dinosaur thing, then it doesn't matter. As long as this thing actually looks like Godzilla and looks unique, has that look about him, that Godzilla look. I don't know how to explain it. You just have to have this feel for it. And this just doesn't capture that. This does. And it's weird because that one's like $10 less. And of course, you got the little guy here, who, once again, is more detailed than this thing, which, don't tell me how that happened, it just did. So anyway, so in conclusion, this guy, yeah, he's not all that great, and you may think, and granted, you may think that I'm going a bit hard on him, and if you do, well, fine, that's your opinion, this is mine, and I'm right, but, you know, it's not awful, and it is just $20 for an awful huge thing. Something like this made in Japan would be more like $120, which is ridiculous in and of itself, but I'll get to that later. But, yeah, I mean, if you want a big Godzilla figure, this is the one to go with, and really, there aren't that many that are, you know, available to us, so you gotta take what you can get. Support the Godzilla franchise on all shores. But, please, Bandai, if you're listening, either make the American counterparts, you know, buck up and listen, or just cut it. I mean, cut it. This isn't going to work. You can't do this. Now, I know that there are other ones that have come out, and hopefully I'll be reviewing them soon as well. But, until then, let's hope that Bandai Creation learned from their lesson. Anyway, I'm Creature Hunt Guy. This is Bandai Creation Huge Godzilla 2005. Coming to you from Monster Island, and I'll see you later.